unit, you'll find several accessories that are packed inside the dish basket. The first of these is your drain and fill hose with your dishwasher adapter already attached, which is this device here at the end. It's also a quick connect, but I'll cover that a little bit later. This comes packaged with the unit. You have a detergent measuring scoop for convenient measuring of your detergent. You also have a pictorial list of do's and don'ts that come with the unit. They're fairly simple to understand. You have the owner's manual that's packed with the unit. It gives complete information about install and general operating procedures along with the EdgeStar warranty. And we also have the U.S. Energy Guide for those concerned about energy consumption. It's also included with the unit. Inside the unit, we're going to find the dish basket and the cutlery box. That's where you put your forks and knives and other utensils. That just simply sits in there and then rolls backwards, and then you close the door. Now let's talk about the inside of the unit. I'm going to open up the door here. On the inside of the unit, when you first open it up, you might notice some water spotting, maybe a few droplets of water. That's normal. The factory quality checks each unit before it leaves. They actually run it for a few minutes, and during transit it will dry, create water spots, or leave a few droplets inside the unit. That's okay. That's normal. Don't be concerned about it. The next thing I'm going to look at is our soap dispenser. And I'm going to go ahead and open it up, just like that. There's a push button in the front here. You just push it in and it releases it. You'll find that there's two chambers here, one smaller than the other. And that's going to correspond with the amount of load that you have, how many dishes that you have in the dishwasher at any given time. You'll use the smaller of the two chambers for a half a load or less, and the larger of the two for a full load. Fill those up with your choice of detergent, although I do recommend Cascade. You can use the detergent of your choice. Once you're done and you've filled it, close it and press it until it snaps. There's some finger guides here so that you have a little bit more pressure when you close it. And over here, we have our rinse aid dispenser. To use that, you simply turn the cap, remove it, and if you'll notice this cap has groove guides. There's also some guides here in the bottom. When you put that back on, you're just going to line up the grooves and turn it clockwise to tighten it up. You don't need to force it. Inside here, you'll pour your jet dry. This is how that is dispensed. There's also a sensitivity control here for that. You can decrease and increase the amount of jet dry that you use depending on how hard your water is or what type of dishes that you have. That just simply turns and locks into place. You can shut the door and then start your cycle. Let's cover the installation basics on the hoses at the back of the unit. Then I'm going to talk about the dishwasher adapter. To hook up your hoses on the back of the unit, you'll find there's two ports. One here and one here. This one is your intake port for your water coming in. This is your drain port. The drain hose, as you can see here, has a very large fitting. The other one does not. That's how you tell these apart. Make sure that the O-rings in both ends are securely attached and that they're there. To install this, all we have to do is line up our threads, and we just go ahead and turn it into the unit and we hook it up that way. You need to make sure that when you do this, that you don't use any tools to strip the plastic fittings. Hand tight is perfectly acceptable. The intake hose is the same way. Now you'll find that the ends on this one are pretty similar. However, on this one you'll have a curve here. That curve actually hooks into the dishwasher. Same procedure with this one. So all we do is we line it up, and you may find that this O-ring may become unseated. That's okay. Just push the nut up, seat it back in there, and then thread this onto the back of the unit until it stops. Make sure that you don't cross thread it because these threads are really fine. And all you have to do is just line it up and then turn it until it's snug. You may find sometimes that's a little difficult to line it up, and that's okay. Just back it off and then start it back up again. Now we're going to talk about the adapter that comes with your unit. Here's a good look at it. This is a two-piece unit. This part simply detaches by pulling down this collar. This is the part that takes the place of your aerator on your sink. You'll find it's packed with two O-rings. You may only need one. And this also has threads on the inside and outside for different types of aerators. You'll have to experiment and see what works best. Once this is hooked up, it generally stays in place. And all we do is pull this collar down, insert it, and release the collar. Don't be rough with this adapter. There's a retaining ring right here, as you can see, with some ball bearings. And if you're rough with this, it will pop out and you'll lose all your little ball bearings. Then you'll have to call customer service for a replacement. Attached to this, we'll also find a large red button. This is your freshwater bypass. You can get fresh water from the bottom of this while your unit is running. Now we're going to talk about these ports. You have a drain port and you have a water supply port. The water supply is at the bottom. The hose is hooked to the same way as we did at the back of the unit. Here's how we do that. So we're going to pick up the other end of our hose. We're going to make sure that the O-ring is attached. And then what we're going to do is thread it onto the unit. And all you do is turn this until it's secure, as you can see. Then we do the same with the other hose. And remember, your drain goes up at the top. You thread that in there, just like that. Then this whole thing attaches to your faucet. And that's it. That completes our installation on this particular part. Now that we've installed the unit, we're going to talk about the front panel controls and how to use the unit. And the first thing that you're going to notice is your on and off button. This powers off the unit and also helps to reset it. To turn the unit on, you'll hear a beep. You'll see the display light up, as you can see over there in the corner. And the next thing that you'll find is your program selector. Now in the display, it will have different icons to indicate which program you're on. As you can see, they're switching as I turn the dial. More information about that feature can be found in your owner's manual. The next button that we're going to find is our start and our pause button. They're just like a tape player or a VCR. They work the same way. Once you've powered the unit on, selected your appropriate program, you'll then hit the play button or start to start the process. If at any point that you want to pause it, you'll hit that same button again to pause the program so you can open up the door and add or take out a dish, whatever you want to do. The next button over you'll find is your delay button. This is handy for people that want to wait on their dishes for maybe an hour or two after they're done, and that's fine. That has up to a 4-hour selectable display and delay on the unit, and we'll hit that and cycle it. Every time we cycle it, it gives you an hour advance. So you'll cycle up from 1 to 4 hours. Our next button here is our 3-in-1 button. Now you don't have to use the powdered detergent as I showed you earlier. You can use what they call a Cascade 3-in-1 pack or similar. They're the little tablets that are wrapped in plastic, and you put those in there inside the dishwasher in the cavity. They'll melt and distribute the detergent. This creates a situation where it's best for those to dissolve. You'll select that button should you wish to use that type of detergent. Our display is the last segment over here on this side of the door. It displays your remaining time, your delay, what program you're on, and possibly, if you have trouble with the unit, any trouble codes that might be associated with it. We're going to open up the door. You'll find that the door is somewhat difficult to open, and it does beep when you open and close it if the unit is powered on. If the unit is powered off, you're not going to hear the beep. But it is difficult to open. It's designed to be that way. Inside, as we talked about earlier, you'll find your dish basket. This dish basket is designed for optimum loading. Your owner's manual contains a diagram as to how to load the unit properly. Be sure to adhere to that for best results. When you're ready to start your load, push your dish basket back in, and one last check, we need to make sure that the spray arm here spins freely. Sometimes when you load up your cutlery container, which is this box, you may find a fork or something sticking down in there. It could possibly block your spray arm, and it will prevent the unit from washing the dishes the way that it should. So you want to make sure that that spins freely. We shut the door, we hear a beep,